Hey, yeah, what's up? This is Disciple Marshall Occurrence. Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day. So, this is part three on all these Trump supporters. What we covered was the black supporters. All they doing is trying to rally behind Trump, hoping that they get some kind of money out of the situation. Basically, that's what it is. He's not claiming he's not going to set black people free. He doesn't have any laws, especially for black people. So why are they following him? They following him to thinking that he can use his shiny suit, cornball, found out to be fake, wealthy mogul expertise to bring some money into the country, and it didn't work. That's the only reason they follow him, or to be just a weird rebel. Oh, I'm gonna wear MAGA hats. I'm gonna just be a weird rebel. You know? Okay, that's the only reason any black people, or are they Republicans, or they also feel that he is strength for the country, which that wasn't true either. He was just crass and obnoxious. Okay? So that's where we are. So, we covered the whites, the rural whites, the whites, the rednecks. They are following him for a whole different reason. The reason that I'm really covering this, a lot of them are bitter people that see that the grip that white America has on America is slipping. That's why they're getting behind Donald Trump, hoping that he will revive the white culture on top of America. This is what he's hoping. This is what they're hoping. So while you think they're supporting Trump, they're supporting basically actions that will put white culture back on top. That's what it's about. And the wealthy, the whites that support him in California, in New York, and all these other places that are not Southern, what they're doing is they're supporting him because they want the white family. They want to be on top. It's a difference. They want their white family to be on top. They want their family to be successful, which is white. So that works for them because it works for putting the white culture or somebody putting the white culture on top so that their family and their businesses and things like that still strive and defeat the competition and basically, white people having the upper hand. Okay? They're in there somewhere. That's where they at. The New Yorkers, the Californian people. They in there somewhere. Okay, so that's what you have. Okay, so basically that's what it is. So, but the danger is you don't realize that these Trump supporters can be utilized. They can be utilized like Nazis were utilized by Hitler. They can be utilized like that. And he can arm them, he can use them as soldiers. This is what you don't understand. So while you're thinking that, oh, well, they're just some crazy people just hooping and hollering all around the country as they can go to these rallies. This movement is about the white culture being on top. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about as far as the rural redneck white supporters. That's what it's all about. So you got to understand that this is not just another movement. This is not just something people just supporting this guy. Look how they treat. Look how they move. Look how they treat other people. Look how they're fighting. These people are ready to fight. These are people that were bitter, which I believe a lot of them were bitter during all of the Obama administration. So they're getting their revenge by having someone not only that is white, not only that is Republican, they're getting their revenge by having someone that shares the same values. This perspective that white should be on top. Donald Trump, as we know as far as his history, he didn't rent out housings to black people. We all know this. I don't care what other people say. I don't care nothing about nothing else. He didn't rent out housings. He didn't want blacks to be be housed in some little apartment facilities or projects, wherever it was. He didn't want them to be housed there. That tells you right there what type of person he is. Donald Trump is a man that comes from the good old club, what I call the good old country club. He comes from a club of white men that feel like other races should be in their place. They sit around and drink lemonade, playing golf, talking down on other races like they're business chess pieces. They talk and they talk on people, other races like they're business chess pieces. Yeah, so that being said, that's where he comes from. That's what he's about. That's what I thought. So, yeah, that's what it is. You got to understand this, because if you don't, you'll sit back thinking, oh, he's just out of touch or something. He comes, even though he didn't have money, he comes from an era where being around these rich people, even though he didn't have all the money, he was around all these rich people. So what do you think these white rich people were talking about? What do you think they was talking about? They were talking about, they had racist undertones. They talked condescending on other races. They would probably, a lot of them just racist. And black people wasn't a part of that conversation. That's for a fact. not in the highest standing, in equal standing. You think they were sitting around talking about black people like, oh yeah, we love them. Yeah, they're so good people. No, they were condescending, talking about them as chess pieces. That's how it was. So this is where he gets his mentality from. It's all these wealthy, rich men he's been around that feel like non-white people stay in their place. They should know their place. White people built this country. This is where he comes from. You know? And when you realize that, you'll understand, okay, now I see why it ain't just straight out racist. It's this racist mentality that, just like the slave master, we got to work with the blacks, we got to work with the non-whites to get our job done. That's what it is. They want to work with you, but you still not equal. Oh yeah, they employ you. No different than the slave master had his workers. That's what you gotta understand. So that's basically what it is. So that's why you don't get straight out racism, because it's not the racial slurs, bushwhack racism. It's the racism that the slave master had before the racist words and the racist culture came into play. Dominate over the Africans, make them work, feed them, and all of that. You see? And they make sure they don't have all the words that you expect them to have. But if this man talks like this in public, can you imagine how he talks in secret? Can you imagine what this man says in secret? Can you imagine what Donald Trump says in secret? That's what I'm telling you. So you're dealing with a person that is like a slave taskmaster type of person. Okay? And he knows how to code to the races, the outlandish races that you see his supporters are. He knows how to code to them. He knows how to let them know that he's one of them. Racist white people have a way of letting each other know that they are one of the races, that we are together, that we're brothers. They're not gonna come out and be racist. Come on. There you go being simple. There you go being a simpleton. They're not going to use what you expect. They have the codes, certain codes, and the main code is they're over here and we're over there. We're above them, they're beneath us. They know their place. These are all racial perspectives for white community to dominate. And at the end of the day, besides the racist words, it's all about white domination, which is racist. You're not equal with them. You're not on their level. That's racist. They don't have to use any racist words. All they got to do is put you over there. All they got to do is put you beneath them. That's more powerful than a racial slur. And that's what I'm saying. You got to look at what the progression is. Is the progression white culture on top and the non-whites are under us working? Because that's what this was all about. Before there was a word, a racist word, African slaves were still working. I'm gonna say that again. Before there was a racist word, black African slaves were still working. So they were still working. There was no racist words. They were still under the domination of white people. I'm saying it, I gotta say that again. Because a lot of y'all don't get it. Y'all get so stuck on the paraphernalia of racism. The shirts, the Confederate flags, KKK this, KKK that, burning crosses. Real racism, objective is for you to be beneath them. Okay? For you to be working and be beneath them. That's the objective of all of this as far as racist white people. They're not just wanting to sit around and drink beer and say racist words. They want to dominate you. They want to stay on top. They want to have you under them, but working for them. And that's where you cannot be deceived with a job or positions in America or working in America or even money. That money is nothing more to fatten you up to get you back out there working. You ain't doing nothing but eating. Especially now. All you doing is eating. That's all you're doing. What are you really doing? You ain't really taking no trips. Your entertainment is all these restaurants out here. Eating is all these fast food restaurants. That is all deception. Treating you like cattle. Letting you graze on McDonald's and Burger King. That's all it is. That's all you're doing. Look how much money of yours go into food. Yeah. So why you think you balling? And they have a way of talking to blacks with money, and that's why they ain't helping you. Can you explain to me when you got actors and rappers with 9 figures, billionaires, but they not helping you? Something happened. Something happened along the way. You got people like Kanye West, got $1 billion. You see any black plan? You see him putting out any money towards the black community. And guess what you also see him do? Wearing a MAGA hat. Okay? Got the black guy where he supports that movement. And he's not helping you. No matter what he say, he is not giving back to you, and you are a part of his success as the American community. He didn't make himself successful. You had to be a consumer. In considering the unique history of African Americans, you would think that he would want to give back to the struggle. So you need to pay attention. They're working on all these people that could be helping you. The blacks that got money, they're not helping you. Where's the help at? Somehow they have gotten into their psyche and they're not involved. People in the 60s and 70s that would be billionaires would be given to the hood. Marvin Gaye would be given to the hood. You think Marvin Gaye would be sitting on $1 billion and letting y'all go through that? You think Marvin Gaye will be sitting with $1 billion and you wouldn't see him doing no kind of programs that's significant? Can you name any programs these black actors and entertainers are doing that's significant? Can you name it? You can't. So somehow the white culture has made sure that they wouldn't use their money to make black people equal with white culture, to make black culture and white culture non-equal. So they have invaded their minds so that they can keep black culture and non-white culture under white culture. Because if they had gave the money, you would begin to rise. Your black culture and your non-white cultures would begin to rise. So they began to get in their psyche, like I said. In some way, they begin to make them feel like you're part of us. You get the women, you got the white girl, you got the white friends. I'm not really about that black stuff. This is what happened. They get around a lot of white people and they stop caring about black culture rising up, because now they're looking at it as, I'm a part of white people. I'm not necessarily a part. I don't think nothing is necessarily wrong. Now you biting your tongue because you got too many white friends. Now you don't talk about the injustices that's going on in the black community because you got too many white friends. You got a white baby mama, so you don't want to really talk about black problems too bad. You might talk about it a little bit, but you ain't gonna really talk about it. See what I'm saying? So this is how they get you. Now you got people like Kanye West joining Donald Trump. Whether it's a gimmick or a secret code, it sends a bad signal to the black culture. Whether you doing something else on some 007 James Bond bipolar situation, you're sending bad signals to the African American community. So it's not a wise decision. Okay? Some people are so smart, they're stupid. Okay, you may feel this, that, and the third. You may feel the Republicans set the slaves free through Abraham Lincoln. You may feel like you're doing some other little smart stuff. You know what you're doing, but you're doing more harm than good. So now you're so smart. Your smart is stupid. That's the best way to put it. Your smart is becoming stupid. Okay? And the bottom line is, like I said, a lot of these actors are sitting on 9 figures and they are not building or making nothing happen. At least T.I. and Tiny, at least they're trying to do some kind of housing situation. Respect for that. That's what I'm saying. And you see what kind of woman he got? It's a non-white woman, and he's thinking about black issues. I'm not saying don't date white women. I'm not saying don't have white friends. I'm saying don't let them change your fire and your zealous passion to change black culture and the black experience in America. You say it right in front of them so they can know how it is. That's real. Say it right in front of them so they'll know what's going on and they'll join you. Once they see what you talk about, that's how you gotta be. So these Trump supporters, I'm telling you, it's all about putting white culture back on top. That's all it is.